My brother, I write this sitting on the bare earth, my feet blistered and wrapped in cloth, the taste of salt still clinging to my lips. We are closer to the sea now, closer than the British believe. When Bapu first told us we would walk 240 miles, many of us thought he was joking. The empire does not tremble at bare feet and empty hands. But he did not joke. He simply smiled, adjusted his shawl, and began walking. And we followed. We left Sabarmati before dawn. The air was cool, still heavy with night, and the ashram dogs did not bark. It was as if even they understood something sacred was happening. He did not shout, he did not preach, he walked, that was all. And somehow, that was enough. By the third day, the dust had begun to rise around us like a second sky. Villages lined the road, some joined, some only watched. One old woman pressed a handful of rice into my palm and whispered, "Bring us freedom." I did not know how to answer her, because I did not know if we would succeed. The British officers laughed at first. They wrote about us in their newspapers. "A procession of beggars," one said. But the procession did not stop, and the beggars did not turn back. Every village we passed grew quiet as he spoke. Not loud speeches, no, just simple words. "We will not strike back." That frightened the officers more than any weapon. There was a moment, I must tell you this, when I feared we would lose heart. It was the 7th day. The sun had climbed high and merciless, and our water was nearly gone. One of the younger men began to curse the British loudly, his voice cracking with anger. For a moment, I thought the crowd would follow him. For a moment, I thought all of this would collapse into violence. And then, Bapu stopped walking. He turned. He looked at the man as if he were his own son, and he said quietly, "If we hate, we have already lost." The road fell silent. Even the wind seemed to wait. The man began to weep, and we kept walking. By the 12th day, the march was no longer ours alone. Thousands joined us. Farmers, students, mothers carrying children. We no longer looked like a protest. We looked like a nation remembering itself. At night we sang, not songs of anger, songs of promise. I have never heard hope sound like that before, low and steady beneath the stars. The British began to grow uneasy. You could see it in their posture. They stood straighter when we passed. They stopped smiling. They wrote more reports. I heard one officer whisper, "If he reaches the sea, this will spread." He said it as if it were a disease. He was right, it would spread. Yesterday, we saw the water for the first time. The horizon shimmered like silver beneath the sun. Some of us began to cry before we even reached it. Not because of salt, but because of what it meant. The law says we cannot collect our own salt from our own shores. Imagine that. And yet here we were, walking toward it with empty hands. This morning before dawn, he rose. The crowd gathered in silence. No drums, no shouting, no threats, just the sound of waves. He bent down slowly. His fingers touched the damp earth. For a heartbeat, nothing moved. Not the crowd, not the officers watching from a distance. Then he lifted a small clump of salt in his hand. And the empire cracked. Not with gunfire, not with blood, but with a single quiet act of defiance. I cannot describe the sound that rose from us. It was not a scream, it was not laughter. It was something older, something that had waited a very long time. By nightfall, they had begun arresting people. Not him, not yet, but many of us. I do not know if this letter will reach you. I do not know if I will be taken before I finish writing, but I know this. I have never felt more certain of the future. We walked as subjects. We arrived as something else. And even if they jail us, even if they beat us, even if they try to silence us, they cannot unwalk those miles. They cannot untouch the sea. And they cannot return salt to chains. When you hear what happened, do not think of it as rebellion. Think of it as awakening. Your brother, Ravi.